kitchen. This is Julia, and you're watching Julia's Sunday Night Dinners. This week, I'm going to tell you a little bit about pesto, show you what it is, tell you how to make it, and show you two different recipes on how to make pesto. Two completely different recipes. We're going to make you a traditional basil pesto, and I'm going to make you a sun-dried tomato pesto. Now, traditionally, you'll find pesto. Pesto is a cold sauce. It comes from Italy, and traditionally, you'll use basil. And always, 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 I cannot stress this more, always fresh basil when you're making a pesto. Because you can use the dried basil, but frankly, it doesn't turn out well. I did that once, and I learned from that. It wasn't good. This is one application where using the fresh basil is always, always a good thing to do. Always necessary. Now, I love basil. I love the way it smells. I tried growing it this year. Didn't turn out. I had got one of those $1 things, and it started growing, and it was fine. It started growing, and it started smelling really good. And then I transplanted it, and within 2 days, they were dead. So next year, I'm going to start from scratch and see what I can get. But I do have tomatoes that are growing, so eventually, when they're done, hopefully within the next month, because it's going to be getting kind of cool out, I'll make you something from it, from them. But this, I got at the store. You can get fresh basil anywhere now, almost anywhere. At a supermarket, at a really nice supermarket, actually. I had to go to 2 supermarkets today to get this. But anyway, these sauces, pestos, are served cold. Now, they're not necessarily served cold. They're made cold and then put on warm items. So they actually do get warmed up a bit. So I'm going to start off actually, I got to do a few things first to start off. I'm going to be doing both recipes kind of at once for you. The recipe that I'm going to make with the basil pesto is going to be a chicken sandwich. It's going to have tomato and the pesto and mozzarella cheese. So I got to get my chicken on the grill back here, and these are great. These are wonderful. I love these kinds of grill pans, especially now that I have a gas stove. Perfect. Perfect for this time of the year. If you don't want to, especially since I have a small kitchen in an apartment, it's great to have one of these so you can just grill inside. The cast iron, and it's perfect. So I'm going to grab out my chicken in a brine solution. Now the brine solution, what it does is it plumps the chicken up a little bit. There are a couple of theories as to why brining works, but what it does is it keeps the flavor, keeps the moisture in the chicken. So I'm going to grab my tongs and get that all in the water out. Usually you do this for about an hour or so. Okay, drain that out. And you want to pat that dry before you throw that on the grill. Let that dry as much as you can before you throw that on the grill. And then throw it on smooth side down. tomatoes are an ingredient that but they are very much like raisins. They concentrated sweet. So what we want to do with these is we actually want to plump them up a bit. So let's grab some hot tap water, pop that there, and leave them for a couple minutes. Just pop one kind of, and leave them for a couple of minutes and let them go. We're going to, we have to roast this garlic for our sun-dried tomato pesto. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take this clove of garlic, grab a knife, and going to cut the top off of it. Paper and everything, just like that. And I'm going to take some extra virgin olive oil, sprinkle that on top a little bit, rub that in, and I'm going to grab some foil, wrap it up, and we are going to roast this in the oven. Now I would use my normal big oven, but since it's pretty hot out and I'm already a little hot here in this kitchen, I'm going to use my toaster oven. Easy enough. And I'm just going to push that down a little bit because I don't have much room in there, and put it at 350 on bake for about 20 minutes. And that will come up nice and sweet. It won't even taste like garlic. Now, I think it's time to start our regular garlic basil. So, we got a couple of ingredients in this. We have the basil, of course. We got extra virgin olive oil. Got some grated Parmesan, some regular old garlic, which I have right here, and we have pine nuts. Now, pine nuts are an ingredient that is pretty expensive, but they're worth it. I got a lot of them because I didn't know how much I would be using for this, but they're an ingredient that's used in Chinese and Italian cooking. So they can be expensive, though. So use them sparingly. Here we go. I got a small food processor, but you know, that doesn't mean that I can't make a good sauce. So let's take this basil out in here. Okay. Now it's time to throw in some Parmesan cheese. Okay. About a quarter cup to half a cup. I want 4 cloves of garlic in this. There we go. You just want to, whoop, hey, got away from me. Just want to smash them a little bit and take off the paper and throw it right in. No chopping needed. Now, if you don't if you think pine nuts are too expensive or you don't like pine nuts, using walnuts would work too. Now there's salt and pepper here. And we are going to start pulsing that.